rolling tumors to roaring lampooners, the Tigers on a Roll show starts in 3, 2, 1.
War Eagle, everybody, and welcome back to the Tigers on a Roll podcast. And I'm not going to lie to you here. I am already on the edge of my seat thinking about Sunday. Because let's be totally clear. This is not just a game. This is the game. I know it's a neutral site, but we know Legacy Arena is going to be 70% orange and blue. Stephen Pearl and the boys are taking on the number one team in the nation, the Houston Cougars. Yeah, no big deal. Just two teams that were both in the Final Four last season. This is where we find out exactly what we have when the lights are the brightest. It won't look the same as if we saw them in the spring. There's no question about that. But it is still a huge matchup, and one this early in the fall is nothing but good for the program, no matter how it shakes out. And no matter when it takes place, this matchup is fascinating in 2025-2026 season. And we'll get the bad news out of the way for Houston. The team that went to the Final Four last season, they're gone. Janai Broome, Dylan Cardwell, Chad Baker-Mazzara, the entire core has moved on. But this Auburn basketball team, we don't rebuild anymore. We reload. We have plenty of dogs on the team that will not shy away from competition. And as far as I'm concerned, they seem nothing but excited to go out there and try and win this game. Now, a little bit down the court on the other bench, Houston is exactly who you think they are and who they have been the last couple years. Kelvin Sampson's team are built on defensive misery. They're tough, they're physical, and they want to drag out a 40-minute street fight. If you don't know already, their defensive concept is called Monster Ball. And Sampson has merged like the blitz and hedge concepts from varying defenses to trap basically every single ball screen, forcing our guards, their opponent's guards, away from what they call the line of scrimmage to allow Houston to have a very aggressive backside help. And it is suffocating. And it's been something that they've capitalized on over the last few years, and it has served them well. It helps that the Cougars are led by reigning Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, Joe Tugler. And they also returned some elite guards in Milos Uzan and Emmanuel Sharp. This team is number one for a reason. But here's the thing. We can beat them. We did it last year in the regular season. And this new Auburn team, it might be the perfect antidote for this Houston defense. Houston wants to play physical. Well, Keyshawn Hall is a 6'7" freight train, averaging 24 points and 10 rebounds a game. He is the dude. And if Houston wants to pressure the guards using their monster ball concept, point guard Tahaad Pettiford is built for this. And this is a game that he has to prove that he's one of the best point guards in the SEC, one of the best in the nation. And that doesn't even account for some of the other guys. Like, I got players to watch on all day long in this matchup. Keyshawn Hall, obviously, best player on the floor for us right now. And if he maintains that level of elite play, we win. Houston's defense is designed to take away the first option. Hall can be option 1, 2, and 3 for us. Joe Tugler's job is to make it hell for Hall or whoever else drives the lane. But the battle between Tugler and our bigs is going to be all 40 minutes from tip to the final buzzer. And I've got Tahaad Pettiford sitting here as the wild card because he has not gotten hot yet. But if he can handle this blitz concept and not turn the ball over, and he can get us into our offense with some continuity, we win this game. But if they rattle him, it's going to be a really long night for the Tigers. And I think we get KeShawn Murphy back. He's still questionable as far as the injury report goes, but Pearl has been resting him in the tune-up games specifically for this Houston matchup. If Murphy can't go or if he's limited in any way, yeah, we lose our best interior answer for Tugler, but that just means freshmen like Sway, they're going to have to grow up fast. And that is the single biggest question heading into Sunday. He's got to play, and if we are full strength, we are more than competitive in this matchup. And I'll get to a score prediction at the end of this episode. But before we talk about the rest of the basketball game and what I'm thinking of how volleyball's been doing, they have a game tonight, by the way. Let's get a word from our sponsors. Brahma Marketing is your one-stop shop for everything from signs and apparel to high-impact vehicle wraps. As a certified 3M graphics company, they guarantee quality and durability. They have partnered with Greystar Real Estate, Prisma Health, HD Supply, and more. Stop blending in and start standing out. Visit BrahmaMarketing.com to get started on your next project. A big War Eagle from the Orlando Auburn Club. Are you an Auburn alum or fan living in the Orlando area? This is more than just a club. It's your official connection to the Auburn family right here in Central Florida. The club hosts watch parties and networking events for past, current, and future Tigers and their families. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and online at orlandooauburnclub.org. All right, like I said, our volleyball team plays tonight in their season finale against LSU in Baton Rouge. But I cannot stop thinking about that senior night game on Wednesday. They just finished one of the gutsiest matches I have ever seen from the Auburn volleyball team. And we lost. We lost in a 3-2, 5-set heartbreaker. But I could not be prouder of this team. That was a prove-it game, and they proved it. We were down 0-2 and battled all the way back to force a fifth set. And Liz was an absolute animal. She tied her career high with 20 kills and logged her 1,000th career kill in the process on senior night. And then we've got Lauren Dreves, who had 17 kills. At the net, we had Kate Mansfield being an absolute wall with 8 blocks. If they can repeat that performance tonight, they will end the season, the regular season, on a win. But what does that mean for the postseason? I mean, between the top 10 matchups we've had over the last month and ending the season on a win against LSU as an in-conference opponent, it means everything. They win this game, and the strength of schedule that they've had and how they've looked in some of these games, they are a lock for this tournament. They're sitting at a 16-9 record in the conference, and with the performances that they've had against these ranked opponents, I think that their at-large bid is signed, sealed, and delivered. They've proven over the last month or so to the NCAA selection committee that Auburn isn't just happy to be here and participating and they're on the court just playing. They can hang with anyone. The loss certainly hurts their chances to host, but it helped their overall seed. They've proven that they are better than their ranking, and they're going to be the most underseeded team in the tournament. Very dangerous team for whatever region they get put into. And no one's going to want to see Auburn as their second round matchup. I'll tell you that right now. But Brent Couch has done an incredible team putting this roster together and leading them through some of these tough losses and then obviously some of these upsets that they've had. But taking Texas to the brink, I mean, that is a winning loss. And Auburn fans might be tired in all of our sports talking about silver linings and moral victories, but unbelievable grit from them. This is where the rubber meets the road for the volleyball team, and I'm really hoping to see them go deep into the postseason. I think that they've certainly earned it, and I think that they can hang around and they can play at an elite level with some of these other teams that they will be seeing. But here's what I think about those two tasks. There's two tall tasks right now on the table for Auburn, the Auburn athletic department in general. The volleyball season is not over, but they need to make some noise. Tigers on a roll will be sure to cover their run in the tournament, and I think that they handle business on the road tonight. Volleyball is a very, very tough sport to give predictions on in terms of what points will look like and sets in a match will look like, but I think that they beat LSU and they close out the regular season on a high note. And for basketball, there's no question that the experts will pick Houston. They're the number one team. They have the DPOY, and our starting center is out as of today. But they're forgetting one thing. This is Stephen Pearl's team. And this team is hungry to prove they have not fallen off. A neutral site game in our state. This is going to be a 1990s rock fight. It'll be ugly. And the final score will be low. But in a dogfight, I'm taking our dogs. It's an upset. I'm putting the Houston Cougars on upset alert, and I'm projecting a program-defining win for Coach Pearl, which makes it even sweeter because Bama lost to Purdue in Tuscaloosa last night. Absolutely incredible stuff. I love seeing it. My final score prediction, Auburn 64, Houston 61. Drop a comment if you think different or if you agree. I always like it when the viewers agree with me. Give some credibility out here. But before we get out of here, I want to let everyone know, if you haven't been keeping up with it, there's some other Tigers on the prowl. The cross-country team was up in Huntsville this morning and had runners finish 3rd, 77th, and 81st. And I believe Nixon Chebby will advance as an individual. They were in a regional. He's going to go to the actual, the tournament. But Auburn's going to need to wait for selection day to come around to see if they get one of the at-large qualifiers for the NCAA tournament. They did not advance as a team today from the South Regional Championship. And I want to give a huge shout out to the club hockey program, who, if you missed it, I cannot believe you did. The club hockey program was up in Charlotte, North Carolina last night, playing on ESPN in an outdoor matchup against the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina at the Charlotte Knights baseball on the baseball field. I mean, what absolute scenes. It was called the 704 Outdoor Faceoff, if you want to go look into it. They do it every year. And Auburn won 9-4. Auburn had a club sports team on ESPN, and they go and they dominate a team that is essentially a home favorite. I mean, that was absolutely incredible to see. I'm glad anyone that watched it was able to catch it. If you see right here, that is an Auburn hockey jersey. Every year they do a fan sale to fundraise because as a club, they are not supported by the university. Got that thing. Very proud of that. And you went and saw 22 last night have a hat trick. I mean, absolute 9-4 shellacking of Coastal Carolina on ESPN. Those Tigers are on a dang roll, and I love to see it. And what we're gonna do in the spring, I played lacrosse at Auburn, and what we're gonna have is the Auburn lacrosse head coach on as a weekly guest to preview their games, and he will obviously plug this when the time comes. But you can catch Auburn lacrosse games when they're at home on Weagle's YouTube site as a live stream. They've got commentators. They got obviously the score bug up. They've got everything going on over there. That is another team that I want to see take some incredible strides on the national scene in terms of getting some, brand awareness and whatnot on these live streams and coverage by, local, regional, or national networks, and see what happens. I mean, when I was there, we went to the MCLA championship tournament. We didn't win it, but we went in it, and we went deep twice. So, that's a great start, and they're doing even better. And the head coach that they have now, he'll be a first-year head coach for the Auburn lacrosse program, but he is a winner. He has a couple state championships in high school. He also played Auburn ball in the 2010s. and he is going to be a huge asset for the show, and it's going to give exposure to some of these teams that I think are really important to cover, because Auburn does have some impressive club programs that are not NCAA Division I teams, but they are, they're Division I or II in their respective conferences or athletic associations, and they play just as hard as a lot of these other people, and they're a little less respected as student athletes. So I think getting some awareness on the Tigers on a roll pod is going to be really important for them, and it'll give everyone that watches a little bit more insight into some of the options that are on campus. Because one of the main goals of this show is to cover as many Auburn sports as possible, because there was nothing better as a student wake up on a Monday and go watch swim and dive. You get out of class on a Wednesday, you go watch women's basketball. You get to go to Neville Arena as much as you want with some of these other sports that are going on, because it is hard to get into during men's basketball season for men's basketball games. You've got sports facilities spread all throughout Auburn, and a lot of them are free for students and the public. And if they aren't free, they are very affordable. And you saw the local turnout at the women's game against Mississippi Valley, which was like a 10:30 Central tip, but they had 3,000 fans there. Well, 3,000 plus. 3,000 of them were kids, and I'm sure you've seen the videos. But it is really important to me, as the curator of this channel and the guy covering it, to make sure that the viewers have the opportunity to watch and be a part of and follow as much Auburn sports as possible. It doesn't just have to be the big three. Obviously, we love our baseball, football, and basketball teams, but there is other stuff to be proud of. And all of these student athletes, whether they are NCAA Division I or they're playing in a different conference or they're club sports, they're working their butts off wearing the orange and blue. So, big shout out to the hockey team, big shout out to all those student athletes. And no matter how the football season goes, you can always go find winners on Auburn's campus. And I would say for your mental health and your heart rate, it's good to go follow some Auburn sports that win games and don't disappoint you just on Saturday afternoons. So keep that in mind, and you're going to see a lot more content following some sports that people don't tune in on a regular basis, or they're really just not even familiar with in general. But folks, that is all the time that we have for today. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe as we stay on a roll here at Tigers on a Roll. And as always, War Eagle, thanks for watching, and I'll see you.